Hello and welcome to YourLocalNote.com and welcome to another featured podcast. This week we're talking to the band The Escape. They got a new EP out. It's called New Direction, and we'll not only hear a couple of tracks off that EP, we'll also be talking to them, and we'll find out not only more about the music, but also more about the band, a band from the Norristown area. So let's remind you that we are streaming 24/7. Don't forget, we got free apps. You can download them. All you have to do is go to the respective stores, type in YLN, and you can take our streaming with you 24/7. And also, if you want to get in touch with us, contact at YourLocalNote.com, and that will also give you an opportunity to check out our newsletter. So let's get to it. We're going to start off with their new single. It's called Pain You Put Me Through from the EP New Direction. This is The Escape on YourLocalNote.com.
Justice words could do, so I lie awake. No longer I can take the pain you put me through. I walked away from you. No justice words could do, so I lie awake. No longer I can take the pain you put me, the pain you put me, the pain you put me through.
The song is called Pain You Put Me Through from the EP New Direction, and the band is The Escape. Guys, welcome and thank you for hanging out with us on YourLocalNote.com.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Introduce yourselves and what you do with the band, and give a shout out to the person who's not here.
I'm Steve. I sing and play guitar in The Escape.
Josh, play bass, do some backup vocals in The Escape, and we'll give a shout out to Mike Weiser, who's not here tonight.
Okay.
Plays drums.
Plays drums for you guys. All right, let's talk about, before we get to the single, let's talk about The Escape, because if you go to your website, you guys indicate that you took some time off and you wanted to sort of, I don't know, for a lack of a better word, regroup a little bit. So tell us what's been going on with The Escape.
It started pretty much about 2 or 3 years back now. We were at a spot where we had different members in the band, actually one different member especially, and we were going in.
We also had a different name, which was a
Okay.
which is a big
We
deal.
did, yeah.
And we were talking to some people, and just we've been kicking around for a long time. The name was pretty old. Came up with that when you were like 14.
Oh yeah, it was a long time ago.
Okay.
So
20 syllables.
Yeah. So we kicked around band names. I mean, I have list after list after list of names that I just threw around. My favorite's always been Whoa Nelly, but I wasn't really gonna cut it.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my pop punk hardcore side project.
Okay.
But, yeah, so we changed the band name, and then we kind of flipped our lineup a little, and then really kind of went to town on just getting back to the basics and figuring out what kind of band we wanted to be, what kind of music we wanted to write. What was the kind of essence and the core of what made up our music.
How difficult is it to go in a different direction like that? Especially, you indicated that you have some new members with the band.
Let me tell you, at first, you start off, you wipe the slate clean, and that alone is just, it's overwhelming alone.
Okay.
But you start diving into new songs, and you think like, all right, what kind of songs might we want to write? And you start writing songs, and you listen back, and you're just, it's terrible. Like, this is so not what we want to do.
Right.
And the hardest part in the beginning was finding exactly what style we wanted to really write.
Okay.
We were writing this certain style our whole career, me most of my life.
Okay.
And, it's just a matter of, do we want to write more melodic? Do we want to write softer? Do we want to have more hip hop groove? Do we want to have...
Right.
And we just didn't know. And a lot of it has to do with, we all have different eclectic taste in music. Mm-hmm. It's difficult to try to figure out what I like to listen to and what I like to write.
Okay.
And what's going to work for this band. Yeah, I can write 8,000 metal riffs, but this isn't a metal band. So trying to put that round peg in a square hole doesn't really work either. So you have to figure out what's going to fit everyone, and everyone can come to a consensus on,
right,
collectively and artistically.
So how long have you guys been playing together?
Too long.
I love you. I've been in the band for 7 years.
Okay, the band that was
the
different than the Escape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have been playing together for about 7 years.
I think I'm the longest tenured bass player.
Okay.
We've had, and I was playing with Mike, our drummer. I've been playing with him my whole life.
All right, but was he with the former band?
He was with the former and the present.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny. You talk about, all right, we're a new band, but we're the same members with an additional guitar player that is actually our he plays like live guitar with us.
Okay.
On the record, I played all the guitar parts on the record, but we collectively wrote all the secondary guitar parts, all three of us.
Okay.
Even Mike doesn't know how to play guitar. Josh can play guitar.
Right.
And Mike would even just start humming out lead lines and stuff, and just, we'd mime them. And it was an interesting process. But our new guitar player, Mike, also.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been playing with us for six months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Let's get back to the single that you have, Pain You Put Me Through. Who wrote that, and what is it about?
Me and Josh kind of jumped on that. Actually, I had a lyric idea. One of us had a lyric idea, and we were both kind of going through similar circumstances in our lives. The song is a very relationship-driven song.
Okay.
It's about kind of being drugged through the mud, I guess you could say.
Okay. So it's a relationship that just didn't work out.
Yeah, and you just the chorus says it all. It's just it's pretty much saying, I have to walk away.
Right.
I can't take this anymore.
Right. It's not good for me, even though I'm still in it, and it's hard to break up, but I still got to do it.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think I vividly remember writing one of the chorus lyrics. I was driving in Norristown, and I was right across the street from the McDonald's at 202. And what's the intersection?
Markley.
Yeah, 202 and Markley on the way to practice. So that's I think that was where that germinated from. But yeah, I mean, Steve and I were going through some similar relationship type stuff at the time. So that's sort of the inspiration for that.
So this is based on a real experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, based on it, but not autobiographical.
Correct. I mean, to a certain extent, I guess there's always a little bit of that.
Right.
It's weird. You can say it's all about relationships, but you know what? I would say it ended up being about relationships in general, because a lot of it had to do with, you read the lyrics and it's all about struggle. Mm-hmm. And we had a real terrible struggle getting rid of our last guitar player. He's still a good friend of ours.
Right. Which makes it even more difficult.
Exactly. I've known him my whole life, and it just wasn't working. We were in two different places, and he's doing great now, and
good.
And it's fine. But a lot of these lyrics reflect on that as well. Tied into everything. It kind of all worked out.
Yeah, I mean, lyrically, we really tried to, express what we were going through, but in a way that, is going to be a little, be relatable to other people. I mean, relationships define who we are as people, and whether that's a romantic relationship, whether that's your work relationship, whether that's a friendship, I mean, what have you, that's the overarching sentiment. So like, even if your relationship at work isn't working and you've been a business partner with somebody for 20 years, like that can be the same situation. Being in a band is like being in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Except there's 4 dudes and there's sometimes a lot more at stake than a relationship.
But you still need, but chemistry is very important because to create something, there's got to be chemistry. Otherwise, if you're not on the same page, you're not going to create anything worthwhile.
Right.
So very cool. Let's go to the next song, and then we'll talk about that afterwards, and then I've got a few more questions. The song is called I'll Show You What I'm Made Of, and it's from the EP, New Direction, and we're hanging out with the band, The Escape. We've got actually Steve and Josh with us, and Mike and Mike not with us this evening. Did I get that right?
Mike and Mike.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. You're listening to YourLocalNote.com.
Another place, another time, another way out. Another face, another line, another cop out. Still, I don't know what I am looking for. Another day, another way, another reason. Another week, another month, another season. Still, I don't know what I am looking for. Shout it out to the world. I will fight to be heard. Oh, 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 I'll show you what I'm made of. I face the clouds, I face my fears, I face my own pain. I face the shocks, I face my fears, I face my own mistakes. Still, I don't know what I am looking for. If I start to change, I'll find my ways. I'll try my best to find my way, and I might start to find what I am looking for. Shout it out to the world. I will fight to be heard. Oh, 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 I'll show you what I'm made of. Shout as loud as I can. I will fight till the end. Oh, 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 I'll show you what I'm made of. Put myself to the test. Lift the weight off my chest. Stand up to separate myself from the rest. Settle for nothing less. Keep all my fears in check. Stand up to separate myself from the rest. Another place, another time, another way out. Hey, hey, hey. Shout it out to the world. I will fight to be heard. Oh, 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 I'll show you what I'm made of. Shout as loud as I can. I will fight till the end. Oh, 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 I'll show you what I'm made of. What I'm made
The song is called I'll Show You What I'm Made Of from the EP New Direction, and the band is called The Escape. Let's talk about this song. What is this song about?
I'll show you what I'm made of. That is almost like an anthem-y song on this record. You get to those lyrics and it pretty much just says like, I don't know where I am right now, but I'm going to do everything I can in my ability to grasp the situation I'm in and just take it by the reins, I guess you could say. Overall, I guess the song's just really about finding your place, and instead of like the last single we were talking about, instead of having to walk away, just kind of gripping the situation by the balls, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, the theme of the record in general, and why we called it New Direction, I mean, as I said, Steve and I were going through some things, Mike was dealing with some stuff. Like, it's all about finding a new direction for yourself. It's all about, again, we were looking for new direction in our music, in our personal lives. So the lyrical themes in this record tend to run in either this isn't working, I'm walking away from this, and on top of that, more importantly, like I'll show you what I'm made of is a song that there's all this bad stuff going on in my life right now, but that doesn't, I still have the kind of strength to persevere, aka, there's a song on the record called "A Will to Survive," and I'll show you what I'm made of. Those are songs that are pretty much saying like, you can get knocked down, you can knock me down all you want, but I'm going to stand up and persevere and kind of triumph through it. Because that's sort of what, not to sound cheesy, like that's the struggle of life is you get knocked
got your
down,
goals,
you get back up.
Yeah, you got your goals you got to attain if you want success.
And we really try to be a very positive band. I think that's something that sometimes gets a little diluted in rock music sometimes is the line between being positive and sort of being very negative. So we really want to be a positive band, and like we love listening to music that makes us feel good. So we want other people to feel good.
Right. But you got to be real at the same time.
Exactly.
Because people will see through phoniness
of course.
like that. So
even the songs like even our single and a few of the other songs on the record, the songs that talk about just getting knocked down and trying to having to walk away or having to just collect yourself, they all still have a positive vibe. Like you're going to make it through it. You're going to get to the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train. Yeah,
it's not the train coming. The light is not the train coming at you. All right, let's talk about the songwriting process. Steve, it seems to me so far, 2 songs that we've talked about, you are the idea starter, and then the band helps you mold it together. Is that the way all the songs work?
It all really depends. I mean, there are some times where I'll grab the lyrics but this time around, I was always pretty much me and our old guitar player, we wrote a lot of the lyrics, and we wrote a song, or he wrote a song, we collaborated together. This time around, actually, Josh really took reins, and he helped write. I mean, we threw lyrics back and forth to each other a lot.
Okay.
Well, and even Mike would say himself, he's not, his vernacular isn't,
his verbiage isn't quite there.
Sometimes you don't need that. You get an idea and it goes.
Yeah. And I mean, I think musically it's like, I'll bring a riff, Steve will bring a riff, and we'll throw that around for a while and then figure out something that's like sort of a template to work off of. And then, I mean, Steve's been singing almost his whole life, so I gotta hand it to him. He's the vocal force in the band. And we really try to write around where Steve's roundhouse is in terms of, vocally and kind of
melodically.
It's always, am I passionate about what I'm singing? I don't want to sing this line because this may be important to you, but I'm not feeling that line.
That's got to be difficult if it's your line and he's telling you, yeah, not so much.
It is, but I mean, that's where the give and take comes in,
right?
And it's really, or Steve might say to me, "What do you think? What were your thoughts behind that line? Why did you put that in there?" And then after I explain it, he's like, "Oh, okay." And then it's like, "Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense. That totally fits in with the lyrical scheme. I just wasn't feeling." It's like constantly processing what the song's about.
So a lot of your songwriting process is just through practice and jam sessions, it seems like. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean,
you don't sit down by yourself and write, Steve, and then...
We do sometimes, but not rarely, actually. For this record, we didn't at all. We wrote everything together. We came together in a room. We wrote the music. We threw it down, maybe even a simple first chorus or something. Just whatever. That's it. And then we'd hack away at lyrics, and sometimes it would hit, and sometimes it wouldn't. I mean, in the process of writing this record, we probably have 50 pieces, 60 pieces of different songs.
There are wounded soldiers all over the battlefield, lying with their arms hacked off and all kinds of stuff.
Will those soldiers be brought back?
We're working on a few actually right now.
We went back and listened to all the demos, and there's like one or two. There's like it's kind of funny because like you'll find this like gem of a riff in the rest of the song, and it's like why did we bother putting this to tape? But like. Yeah, there's a couple things that's definitely going to see the light of day.
Very cool. Definitely. All right, let's just take a step back here and let's talk about your personal influence as far as music is concerned. Josh, you referenced earlier that Steve's been singing his whole life, so I take it music is just something that's always been with you.
Yeah, as long as I can remember.
Okay, so what are the influences growing up, and how did they change over the years?
It started with classic rock. My dad listened to a ton of classic rock. Led Zeppelin, everything, everything, all the classic rock songs. And I always really loved them. I was actually really into guitar players at the time. Didn't even care for singers. I wanted to be, Jimmy Page, or I wanted to be Eric Clapton, or I wanted to be Slash or something like that, when Guns N' Roses was out. And I can't stand listening to Guns N' Roses anymore, which is funny to me. It's just it's weird how you changes.
Yeah.
But I started playing guitar when I was 13. It was just a couple of my buddies, and we all wanted to play guitar. It was 3 guitar players, and we were all writing. No one else wanted to sing, so I was like, well, I guess I'm the one that's going to be singing.
Wow.
And when I started, I was terrible. But I just kept listening to bands with great singers. And
Sure. So you taught yourself singing?
I took lessons after about a year and a half of singing.
Okay.
And then I didn't like my teacher, so I stopped. And then I met a teacher called Terrence, and he taught me for 5 or 6 years probably. Mm-hmm.
One of many students from Terrence.
One of many, from Mr. Gaines, one of many students, yes.
Give a shout out to Terrence.
Yep, we're going to do it.
Yes. Good friend of the site.
Yes. It just kind of went from there. I mean, and Terrence had me singing everything. He had me singing, oh my God, Pavarotti. Had me singing Bruno Mars. Had me singing Queen. So it was, the influences were always so wide for me when it came to music.
Is that part of stretching your vocal cords?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Stretching your vocal cords, and a lot of it has to do with trying to push your limits. You get stuck in one box of singing, maybe. Say you listen to, not that there's anything wrong with them, but say you listen to Green Day your whole life.
Right.
And you're singing that way.
Okay.
If you can sing, if you can male vocal Mariah Carey song, you're going to be killing a rock song. You're going to be singing incredible. So, I would sing a ton of different, I remember doing Adele songs. In my lessons. Which is ridiculous, but it helped. It helps broaden your mind when it comes to thinking about how melodies are constructed and how vocals are arranged. And I guess that's why my music taste has always been so wide.
Okay, Josh, your influences?
Yeah, again, I started with classic rock. Just kind of broadened out from there. In high school, I was like super into like a lot of punk rock kind of stuff, like Fugazi, some of that early '90s Discord stuff, and then I picked up guitar when I was like 15, and I played guitar just playing guitar, and then in college I got offered to join a band on bass, and I figured out that I was much better at playing bass than I ever was at playing guitar.
Okay.
And
what's the difference? What's the difference? As a person who's not really musical, what's the difference between the guitar and the bass guitar?
It's interesting because like the notes are pretty much the same, but in terms of the dynamic of the instrument, the place the instrument holds in the band, each instrument as like you get into it. Like Steve always tells me I play guitar like a bass player.
Okay.
And a big complaint a lot of bass players have is guitar players, when they pick up a bass, play the bass like a guitar.
Okay.
Like it's a certain feel and kind of what you're playing. Guitar players tend to be real noodly and kind of, which sounds cool, like you're Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead.
Right.
If that's the setting you're playing in, but if not, it's like, all right, just lay back in the pocket. And I tend to be very root note based when I'm playing guitar, so I'm like real blocky and chunky and it's much more mechanical because bass at times can be a much more mechanical in terms of how you play it.
Right.
It's like,
well, it's a support instrument in a way. You're the rhythm section, part of the rhythm section.
It's funny because we used to be able to do this all the time. We could literally be at a venue playing with other bands. Me and him be like, yep, that's a guitar player. If he didn't have anything else to play with, he's playing bass. That's a guitar player. He's playing bass. Like you just point it out, and then you have the guys who are like, that guy's a bass player. You can just tell when a guy's a bass player.
Right.
or you get the rare guitar player that can actually play bass.
Okay.
Rare.
Rare.
Play bass like a bass player.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we meant. Yeah.
Quickly, I don't want to leave the mics out. Their influences, you guys know their influences, wide, varied. It seems like both you guys have a wide background as far as music is
I'll
concerned.
take Wise or you take Yeager.
Yeah, I would say our other guitar player is very much a punk rock guy. I know he loves NoFX. What else? I know he likes Rancid. And he's also a big pop music guy. I know he also plays in some cover bands.
Okay.
So that's probably his two influences. Is like NoFX is like what really artistically I think speaks to him, and then he also really has an ear for pop music and really what how you write a song and what goes in why something's catchy or why a riff is catchy or something.
Okay. The drummer, Mike.
Mike has changed the most out of anyone in this band when it comes to listening to music. When I first met him, it was bandanas and cut off sleeves, face paint. He listened to Cannibal Corpse, listened to 6 Feet Under. He listened to who else? Dream
Pantera
Theater,
was
Pantera, and now it's like Florence and the Machine, and like
really,
and he just went to see the Lumineers. Is that what he went to go see?
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
it's crazy what the progression of how your musical taste changes. But Mike still like bands. Like any of us will go see Mastodon. I love Mastodon.
Okay.
Mike loves Mastodon.
We all have some bands that I think we all like. I know Bayside Mike the drummer, Steve and I really like. Amber Lynn. I think we all have a soft spot for terrible pop music, as much as we all might deny it. Like,
well, the hooks are there and it sticks in your head.
Yep.
good songs, at least to me, a good song is a good song, no matter
Right.
who's writing it or singing it. And I think if you can I appreciate a lot of that music for the fact that it's a good song and not so much like who's singing it.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
Good couple bands that I forgot. Mike and I really liked Phil Collins,
Yep.
Huey Lewis and the News. I'm a big fan of Elton John.
Sure.
Mike loves Billy Joel.
I like Billy Joel.
Loves Billy Joel.
All right, let's go to song number 3. It's the title track of your EP. It's called New Direction. Let's. I think we covered a little bit about that before when we were talking about it. It's basically a song about what you guys are doing with the band, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Who came up with that idea? And it was another collaborative effort?
That was one of the early songs we wrote when trying to write this record. It was a collaborative effort. A little bit of a change. Before we recorded acoustic, we actually threw away the chorus and rewrote a whole new chorus. And it fit. We rewrote a chorus that fit with the verse lyrics and kind of rounded up, like just summed up the whole record for the most part.
Yeah, that was going to be one of the Wounded Soldiers. And then we kind of we were kicking around the idea of we wanted to have one extra track kind of in the bag.
Okay.
And, because we had, at the time, we had a Kickstarter campaign to raise money to record.
Right.
And so we wanted to there was a track that was just going to be exclusive for those folks.
Okay.
So we were kind of torn. Do we want to take one of the tracks we recorded in the studio? Do we want to write a new song just for that? And after a lot of debate and consideration going through demos, we really felt passionate that all the songs we recorded studio-wise were really awesome and really needed to see the light of day. And then we kind of went back and kind of fiddled around with writing a new song, but like just the spark wasn't there at that moment. And so we heard this song and we said, you know what? Like we sat around with the acoustics for a little and said, wow, this could really take shape into something awesome. So we sat down and kind of applied our creative process of sort of pre-production, going back and picking it apart.
Right. I like it. Stands out because it's different from what your other songs are like, and it jumps out at you. So I think you guys did a good job with this. So the song is called New Direction. It's the title track of the EP, and we're hanging with the guys from The Escape on yourlocalnote.com.
I'm looking in a new direction. I'm searching for a new perspective. I'm hoping that I'll figure out which way to go. I'm staring at my own reflection. I'm seeing all my imperfections. I'm hoping that I'll find my way before I'm old. Life's too short, it's now or never. Make a change for something better. I hope I can find the way on my own. Life's too short, I won't stop trying. In my heart, there's no denying. I know I can find a place to call home. Sick and tired of the state I've been in, so exhausted from the life I'm living. I can't imagine being stuck here anymore. Every day's the same, I can't get away. I need to start planning my escape. I'm looking for the door, 'cause I want something more. Life's too short, it's now or never. Make a change for something better. I hope I can find the way on my own. Life's too short, I won't stop trying. In my heart, there's no denying. I know I can find a place to call home. Life's too short, it's now or never. Make a change for something better. I hope I can find the way on my own. Life's too short, I won't stop trying. In my heart, there's no denying. I know I can find a place to call home. To call
The song is called New Direction and that's the title track of the EP, and we're hanging with The Escape. We've got Steve and Josh here. All right, let's talk about the EP. Oh, you got 7 songs on the EP, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, why wouldn't you just add another song or two and call it an album?
You know, in this day and age, recording costs are extreme, like sky high.
Right.
And doing a full length, which is usually like 10 or 11 songs,
Sure.
the price differential between doing a full length versus an EP. I mean, a lot of bands these days, if you go and kind of go back even to some bands that are real big now, and you kind of look back to what they first started dropping.
Just a couple songs at a time.
5 songs, 6 songs. I mean, we recorded the acoustic track that you just heard ourselves.
Okay.
And we just had it mastered. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the recording costs are a lot. And so it's much cheaper to do. I mean, I would say, I'll give you an example. The song that we did in Colorado with Bill Stevenson, I think came in somewhere around what we raised, which was about $5,000.
Wow.
And that's one song. A full length with him, probably over the course of a month, you're looking at anywhere from $35,000 and up, depending on what label you're on and kind
Right.
of who's paying your bills. So,
Right.
you know, no pun
AKA
intended.
all of the band's cars collectively sold,
Yeah.
put together,
So-
and then some more money.
So I mean, that's just kind of where bands at our level in terms of financial power, so to speak, kind of sit for the
So the money dictates how long the EP and album is going to be.
It's money. A huge I'd say like 70% is money, and then also for us, you know, we put a lot of time and effort into writing 7 really awesome songs that we really put every ounce of what we had into them. Versus, and I think a lot of bands at some points in time make this mistake in their careers, is that, you know, maybe you got 12, 13 songs.
Right.
Not all of them are that great. So
Sure.
I'd sooner put out 6, 7 bangers than have, you know, an album that's got, you know, 4 songs worth of filler on it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd like to add too, conceptually, we had our album. To add another set of lyrics, everything was summed up. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you really look back at it, for us anyway, lyrically, in comparison to every other album we ever did, it was perfect how it was. We've been trying as a band for years when we were the other band with a different name that I'm not going to mention. After we changed and we wrote this record, the one thing that stood out the most was the songs were more concise in the lyrics. And it was... within these 7 songs, everything was just summed up perfectly.
Okay.
The story was told.
You mentioned, Josh, that you guys recorded the title track, New Direction. Is that something you'll want to do in the future, self-recording? Is that of interest, or is that something you guys just...
I have to give big shout out to our drummer, Mike. He's the engineering whiz amongst the 3 of us. The 3 of us have this pipe dream of opening our own studio one
Sure.
day. I think that could happen, but I think
it solves the money problem.
definitely
yeah.
solves the money problem.
And
but
Mike records a lot of bands,
Yeah.
a lot of younger bands himself, and Mike does a hell of a job for what he
does
has.
a bang up job. But I
Yeah.
think we've sort of set the standard based on where our studio recordings are at now.
Sure.
That we want to continue that standard, and until our skills are up to par with that,
Makes sense.
I think we're going to keep rolling with.
Okay.
Also, you got to look at Mike records somebody. We're the producers. We love working with the producer. We love that extra hand in there. Just be like, that sucks. Don't do that.
So
that is great. Do that more.
Okay, so you don't
know.
mind having an outside ear coming in
Love
and
it.
saying, okay.
That in doing all this and seeing how records are made, that's the one thing I think is the most crucial part of any band doing a recording. And I think there's a lot of great rooms out there,
Right.
But how many great producers are there? And you can have a guy. There's even in Philadelphia, there are a ton of guys who will hit record, and girls who will hit record and kind of lay whatever you got down on tape.
Right.
But really somebody who you can trust to really give you that honest critique.
And mold the
And
songs.
mold you and say,
Yeah.
you know what, that lyric isn't very good. That guitar line's terrible.
Right.
You're playing out of time. Do it again. Like, a lot of people in music and the entertainment business in general are very hesitant to give you that feedback.
Well, it's not easy to do, and when you're working with someone, again, it comes down to chemistry. If the producer says something wrong, I mean, he or she could set the tone for a miserable session, and
Yeah.
money is a big factor. So they're probably going to take the path of least resistance.
And that's the best producers are the guys who are willing to who are willing to step to you and say, listen, and it's a trust thing. You have to, and we do that. We did that with both producers we had. We said, you're going to be essentially the fifth ear.
Right.
We trust that you're going to come to us and respect us as musicians and as people, and we're going to respect your opinion when you tell us, you give us your honest feedback. And that's the give and take, I think, of producer versus artist.
Very cool. Okay. A little different step here, as you were talking before about the other band. How are you having a lot of people come from the other band, fans, following you to this project? Or have you had people say, you know what, this is nothing like what you guys were doing before?
To be honest with you, everyone that's heard us, that's heard the other band that we, still in contact with us and still talk to us, they love it. They love the new stuff.
So positive response.
They think it's a much better direction than we were in before, which is great. I mean, that's just great for us. And even the last few shows, every show is like a progression. I just see more and more new and familiar faces at the same time, which is cool.
How difficult was it to take a couple years off?
Oh, painful.
It was painful. I mean, we weren't off we were off the scene, but I mean, in terms of being in the basement, we were down there like.
Yeah, but there's a difference between.
It's painful, man. I mean,
difference.
Yeah.
It's painful.
Part of the reason why you guys play is to play in front of people,
to be performers.
Yep. Yes.
And, I do some side stuff and whatever, but like the Escape is our baby, and so it's really hard to, no matter how much you play out with someone else, it's really hard to kind of keep your baby under wraps and pass up gigs and things like that.
Okay, very cool. All right, let's talk about where people can find your music.
We have our website is theescape.net. That's where our single's streaming, and you can find news about us and our upcoming show schedule.
Like the website.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a process getting into that, but it turned out really good, actually.
Yeah, I thought it did.
So that's our website. And then on Facebook, it's facebook.com/home of the escape.
Okay.
And again, there's some, lots of information, and you can find pictures and other fun stuff on Facebook. We're on Twitter, which is twitter.com/theescapeband. We're also on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, it's youtube.com/watchtheescape.
Okay.
We're going to be premiering a video for our single "Pain You Put Me Through" probably late summer.
Nice.
And so that's going to drop on the YouTube channel.
Please let us know so we can promote it before it premieres.
We'll do.
We will do.
Like to do that. Put that on the front page and let everyone know that you got a new video coming out.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. It's the first people actually know that we still have a face.
Okay.
Because they'll actually be able to see your face.
Cool.
This is definitely, like, for me, it was the first legit music video I've ever been in, and
a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
It was a blast.
The director got some actors, and it was just really neat to see that process.
We get to shoot a lot of the live scenes at Dobbs.
Oh, okay.
Which was really cool. Very thank you to Dobbs for letting us borrow your venue all day. That was great.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a great process.
I mean, we use this thing called a red camera, which is apparently like the standard in video. And like, you just look at the viewfinder, and it looks like you're watching TV, which sounds really silly. But like in your brain, you're thinking, this isn't going to kind of. They have to touch it up and do these other things, and it just looks incredible just looking at it.
Nice. All right. And where are you guys playing next?
July 13th, we're playing at the Dockside Series at Dave & Buster's.
Nice.
That's on a Saturday.
We are a sponsor of that.
Cool.
We a minor sponsor, but we help out. Is it Saul with the production company?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to doing that. And then I'm continuing to book shows, and then we're also going to be featured in August at the Liberty Music Conference. In Philadelphia, and that's being put on by Double V.
And of course, anything that pops up in between, you'll let us know so we can get up on the site and let people know where you guys are going to be.
Definitely. Josh and I we try to mix it up, so we'll go out and we'll try to find open mics, try to play acoustic shows.
Okay.
Kind of gives the softer side of the Escape,
all right.
if you will.
Let us know about that too. We'll promote that.
Definitely. I get to live out all my guitar player fantasy.
Oh, he gets to play guitar in that situation.
It's fun.
He's not clunky?
No, it's actually fun to watch. I wish I could like take a picture and put it on my fridge almost. Like it's very exciting.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It was great hanging with you.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime. And looking forward to some more music from you guys and seeing you out playing live. Let's wrap it up with the last song, which is Games You Play. Tell us about that song. Who wrote it and what is it about?
That was our first song that we wrote but we went to Colorado about a year prior to finishing the rest of the record. Yeah, but that was just one of the tracks that we were debating between that and New Direction, which was actually full band electric at the time.
Okay.
And I'll Show You What I'm Made Of was in that mix too.
Okay.
And we got there, and I remember Bill going, I want to record all three. I wish we had time. We were just like, he was like, we're going to do Games. And we just kind of started cracking at it, and it just had a good vibe. It was really attacky. It was, it's just like the chorus, all the things you've done, all the things that you've become. I'm not here to play your games. Like, it just had that. Bill loved that. He just loved the whole. It was the proverbial "fu" pretty much. He was saying.
Okay.
I remember that was his.
He was
his
a trip,
line.
man. He was,
so
Bill Stevenson is a great guy to work with,
Oh,
and
he-
Jason Livermore. Yeah.
And you went out to Colorado to record.
yeah, it was great. Fort
How did you get hooked up with that?
Some folks that were kind of helping us out, sort of like in a management kind of capacity, plugged us in with another gentleman who's sort of specialized in kind of A&R type stuff,
Right.
which pretty much boils down to working on songs.
Okay.
And doing, we did an extensive pre-production process with him, which we'd write a bit of a song, we'd record it the best we could, layer vocal harmonies, the whole 9 yards, send it out to him, via email, and he would say, hey guys, like that guitar line's not catchy, or his focus was vocals. So guys, your verse is great. You kind of drop the ball in the second part of the verse on these 3 syllables, and then your chorus really isn't catching my ear. Do it over. So anyway, long story short, he said, you know what, guys, your sound really reminds me of some bands that Bill's recorded. I think you should really shoot the moon here, run a Kickstarter, really get your fans behind you and shoot the moon and go out and record with this guy, because he'll really give you a banging song. And
Nice.
That's how we found Bill. So today in the music industry, it's really cool. You can just reach out to most people via email and just say, hey, I want to work with you. And they go, okay.
Very
Yep.
good. Guys, again, thank you very much. The song is called Games You Play. It's from the new EP, New Direction, and we've been hanging with The Escape on yourlocalnote.com. Don't forget, we will have a brand new podcast next week, and of course, you can always contact us at contact@yourlocalnote.com, and that's also where you can sign up for our newsletter that we put out, all the information that we can't get on the site, or all the information that is on the site. And don't forget, we are streaming 24/7, and if you want to find out where the bands are playing, we've got our live events section. So check out yourlocalnote.com for all the news and information about what's going on in the Philly music scene. Again, we've been hanging with The Escape. Their new EP is called New Direction, and this is called Games You Play on yourlocalnote.com.